The Spirit of Boom colt, Brian, he came here from Sydney and look, he hasn't lifted his head. He's been eating the whole time, done very well within himself, and as you've seen today on the parade, he hasn't taken a step backward. He looks a ready-made racehorse. Since he's arrived from the sales, he's just gone ahead, and look, I just think he's got the making of being an early 2-year-old and a great chance in some of those early races for owners wanting to buy into a nice horse.
Very nice colt, well put together, beautifully balanced. This is his second morning of long reining. So all Paul's going to be doing here is getting the colt to accept the reins behind his leg, which he's asking there now. Because when he's going to get the turn into the fence here, the horse has got to accept to give to the pressure on the hind end. You've got to go through the 5 minutes of playfulness probably sometimes with these colts. They just want to have a bit of a play and as I said, sort out a relationship with the handler, which in this situation is Paul. Temperament-wise and movement-wise, there is a hell of a lot to like about him. So, okay, he's coming back to the walk now and asking the horse just to put the nose in position in front. He might corkscrew him into some smaller circles here in a minute, so he's learning to keep coming into the pressure of the rein. And then change direction and go the other way. And as I said, in the round yard adjacent to us, there's a bit of action going on, which is good because it tests this little colt out as to how much he is listening to Paul. And now that concentration level on Paul's probably gone up to about 80%. It's about being a teacher, and you've got to allow them a little mistake every now and again and allow them a little bit of thinking time, but we want to get them to do things when we ask them to do it, not when they want to do it. He's got a lovely hip, and when you see him gathered up like that, he's got a magnificent action. And I can't wait to see him under saddle, which will be next week sometime. I think he's going to be a beautiful moving colt. The Spirit of Boom Baroque Pearl colt, and Paul's on the Epaulet Dandy Warhols filly. We're just going to be riding them around in the arena here, putting flags on them and dragging branches around and putting them in little situations that were initially uncomfortable for them, but they're getting better every day. Last week we went through stage 1, which was the mouthing up and the long reining of the horses in the round yard and in and through the complex, and stage 2 is where we start to ride them, and we're up to our 7th ride in this arena this morning, and so they're very comfortable about being ridden, but they've just got to learn a little bit more about obstacles, things that jump out of the ground at them, flags that might get in their way and annoy them. It all augurs well for when they're at the races, not worrying about things, just exposing them to things that they're going to be exposed to later on. So initially they didn't like this much, but now they're getting used to it pretty well. So we're just going to ride them around here, and I'll let you film them as you like, remembering that I'm on the Baroque Pearl colt and Paul's on the Dandy Warhols filly. Okay, let's go. I'm just going to ride this colt through the barrier chute here, which is the initial. We'll build one of these going into the starting gates, and they get used to being in here. Bit of noise. It's just going everywhere we want to go and helping them gain confidence in what they're going to do later in life. And he's looking at people on the sideline, but he'll get used to that. It all looks like a bit of a circus really, but that's what I want it to be, because I want them to get used to all this sort of stuff, because you never know what's going to get thrown at them from a crowd. So I don't want them to overreact with things, and by doing this, you know, it just makes them realise that things aren't out there to hurt them. And you know, we don't want head shy, we don't want them running away from all sorts of things. So we just carry on like idiots really, basically, exposing them to all sorts of things that you want them to get used to. And if they want to play around a bit, I let them. So when we do go out there and start working them in a group, they're not going to be worried about it. They don't like the flag. When you get on them with the tree branch, they want to run away. See, Paul's just practicing his flying dismounts up there. Because when they're in the gates, you know, if a horse is being silly and there's barrier attendants climbing all around them, they've got to get used to that stuff. So that's basically probably all we need to do with them today. And we just do it each day. It's repetition. And as I said, by Tuesday, Wednesday next week, we'll be off them. I just banged my knee on the rail. We'll be off them, and Daniel and Suzanne will be riding them in the pad. And they should be pretty good by then. So that's the completion of stage 2. We've got the Spirit of Boom, Baroque Pearl, the Dissident Take Charge colt working together in front here, and the Epaulet filly out of Dandy Warhols following up behind. This will be their last morning's work before they go for a spell. They'll have a month off, and then they'll be back in for the second part of their preparation.